Peace, family. This is Tariq. Welcome back again for another day, another episode of Knowledge Corner. All right, today's insight: falling in love again with God. Falling in love again with God. This comes from the song of the day, "Falling in Love" by Faith Evans. This is off of her debut album entitled Faith that was released on August 29th of 1995. So happy 30th anniversary to Faith's debut album. I actually love her debut album. I literally used to play it on repeat a lot at that time, along with Only Built for Cuban Links that came out in 95 as well. Those were two of the albums that were constant in my rotation. But there are two separate parts of the song that I want to talk about. The first one being what they call the pre-chorus, when she sings, "Promise that you'll stay, never take your love away, 'cause I need your love. You're stuck in my heart, don't you know? And the feeling is strong, and I can't let you go." Falling in love again with God. Some of us have our trials and our tribulations in our life. And we have those moments in our life where we don't think God is with us. I myself am one of those people. Even though my belief in God has never changed, I still have my moments in my life where I did not think God was with me. But now, as an older man, I realize that God is omnipresent, which meaning that he's everywhere all at once. And a lot of times when we go through our trials and tribulations, we go through those things because he loves us and he wants what's best for us. And those trials and those tribulations actually get us to a point to where we can truly experience God's love the way he wants us to experience, the way he loves us. Anything in life, there's going to be hardship. I don't care what it is. They say that in order to be a winner, you first must know how to lose. And I look at, say, Michael Jordan. A lot of people consider him the greatest basketball player of all time. When Mike first came into the league, Mike could not get past the first round of the playoffs because he had to go up against the Boston Celtics, the Detroit Pistons, and at one point, the Cleveland, Cavaliers. It took him years to get to a point to where he understood what it took to be a winner. And once he actually got past the Pistons, I really can't say the Celtics because the Celtics actually, they were somewhat of a dynasty, but they all end up getting old. So the newer team of those two would be the Pistons, and the Pistons, took everything out of Mike for him to get to that point to where he knew what it took to beat them. And then once he beat them, it was off, it was on and popping at that point. He understood what it took to be a winner because he took years and years of actually failing to actually get to that point to where he could be a winner. And a lot of times that's what happens to us in life. We go through our moments where we may not think that God is with us, that we're at our lowest point, but then he brings us back up. And then he gets us to a point to where you realize God was with me all along, but I needed to go through this point, So for me, over the last maybe 5 or 6 years, I've gotten to a point to where I truly understand God's love for me. And now I'm at the point to where I have fallen more in love with God. I don't want to say falling back in love, because I always loved God. Sometimes in my life I just didn't think he really loved me because of everything that I was going through. Another part of the song is actually the beginning, when she says, "Sometimes I think about you and I remember all the things we went through, and I realize that I need you. I'm falling so in love with you." Again, that goes to somewhat what I just said. You go through your life, you go through your trials and your tribulations, and you really, really think that, is God really there? I need God. You're calling on God. And in your mind, God is not showing up. But then you realize God was there the whole time. And you just had to go through this storm, because that's a part of life. There's always going to be storms in life. It's just how you manage to get out of that storm and how you weather that storm will determine the type of person you will become. Everything in life is a learning experience. Everything in life, trials or tribulations, you're going to learn something. You should learn something. I'm at that point to where I understand everything that I've gone through in my life is a learning experience. So now I know what and what not to do in order for me to have a better life. That's why I truly love God. I know God got my back, and I don't want it any other way. Matthew chapter 22, verse 37. Jesus said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind." When you love God, you got to give your all to God, because he's given his all to you, whether you believe that or not. God has given his all to you. And just like it says, Jesus said to him, "You shall love the Lord, love your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind." We are God's children. God is our Father. So why would I not love my Father? Why would I not want to be thankful and grateful to my Father for everything he has done for me? Everything that I've done up until this point in my life, God has been able to provide that for me. Yes, I put in the action to do certain things, but without God, those actions would have fell short. Surah Miriam, which is Mary. This is the 19th surah. This is the 96th ayat or verse. "On those who believe and work deeds of righteous will Allah most gracious bestow love." Whatever you do in this world, God is going to love you. But the more good you do in this world, God is going to love you even more, because you're basically doing God's work. God created us in his image. That's in Genesis. He gave us life. In a lot of ways, when we have our own children, we're giving them life. When you plant your seed in fertile soil, you're providing life force to a new being, whether that be your daughter or your son. You love your son, you love your daughter unconditionally, whether even if they get on your nerves. I love my kids with all my heart. Do they get on my nerves? Of course. They're kids. That's what they do. But that doesn't waver my love that I have for them. I truly love my children. And God loves each and every one of us. You may not understand that. You may not believe that. But believe me, God loves each and every one of us. So you need to fall back in love with God. If you haven't done that, you truly need to fall back in love with God, because God loves us and you should love him. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and positive energy activates constant elevation. Peace.